Welcome back to XCOM. How long? I forget, I'm waiting for something here. Oh right, yeah, research, I think. Yeah. It's a bit annoying. What kind are they? A snake man. I think I'll just shoot them down. I can't be bothered to deal with chrysalids inside a battleship. Yeah, I'll just let them despawn. Now I got a comment on I uploaded Eco, soundtrack of the game Eco, in a video a few weeks ago, maybe a month or two ago, I don't remember exactly. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I uploaded that video. I got a comment that soundtrack I uploaded, by the way, just as a tangent, because you know I can't find it anywhere else on the internet, which is surprising because most things you can. But yeah, so you know, I ripped it from the game because it's a Unity game, so you can just they'll choose to open up the files, and I've uploaded. And you know, if the company copyright strikes or anything, then you know, so be it, but I don't think they particularly care because it's just in raw form and it's not anywhere else on the internet. I don't know. Anyway, someone left that's a tangent. Someone left a comment that rookies to sort through. Someone left a comment that the songs were kind of continuous, like how there's separate files, but that I had different chapters as like separate files that I extracted, but those things where some of them were kind of the same song. They mentioned that, so I'm gonna go through and make a new edited video with those songs stitched together. Just, you know, because I can. And yeah, I'm gonna upload that. It's not gonna be a re-upload. I'm gonna keep the original one, and that will be uploaded as a separate one with just those stitched together versions for anyone who may be interested. Just a bit of sourcing. Be done in a day. Now, I don't know if anyone watching this is interested in like making their own videos and editing and stuff. But I have to say, I use at least for the most recent episodes, I'd say for the last 10-ish maybe, I've been using KDN Live, or KDN Live. Yeah, that's probably how it's meant to be said, because like N Live. I don't know, I haven't, you know, looked it up or anything, but the desktop is KDE, and it's made by the same group who make the KDE desktop. Anyway, it's very good. I used to do these on the video pad editor, and it's perhaps easier for beginners to use, but KDN Live is just so better. So much better. And yeah, if anyone is interested, I would strongly recommend using that. Perhaps the only detractor it has is that it can't really use GPU. Like, all the rendering is done on the CPU. But, depending on what kind of machine you have, like, you know, if you have a machine with a pretty bulky CPU, like I have a i12900K, uses only 30, 40-ish% of my CPU maybe, tops, and it renders at about 1.5 times the speed of the video. So, what would that be, like 90 frames a second? Hold on a second. Sorry if that maxed out the audio. Anyway, it renders decently quick, but yeah, it'll probably be annoying if you were uploading like 10 videos a day or a blog or something, but for these kind of things it's perfectly fine. There we go. But yeah, despite using the CPU, it's just very, very pleasant to use, and it's... What I like about it, especially compared to VideoPad, is it's just a lot more clean and precise. That goes for the interface, the eventual rendered videos. You have a much more definite idea of how they'll look, like the quality. Yeah, it's just good. Oh yeah, I remember a Muton base being built there. I think it was around there or something. So what kind? Oh, that's Snake Man, not Mutons. So great, another Snake Man base to attack. Oh, you know, I should have sent... Yeah, I'll send my good squad of people. Because I'll get more Elerium from them if they're just landed. Success. Why don't these guys... Oh, I forgot to do all my loadouts and stuff. It's no biggie. Worked fine attacking a terror ship, should be fun against a supply ship. Oh, and I just realised there'll be no chrysalids on this. That's good. Yeah, they're a pain even in the desert. I love my weird floating like police cars. That's what they sound like. Getting a few people in position first. It's weird that the medkits look like grenades. They just bonk you on the head with it or something. It's that, and you get an anti-concussion. Yeah, that must be what it is. Yeah, obviously. It's only science. We'll line these guys up outside too. Just hope that the aliens don't do a blast launcher trick shot around the corner the moment they see me. If they even do come out this turn. Because, you know, it would be ideal if they don't. I was going to talk about something, but I can't remember for the life of me what. Try to have a think about it. Now, those guys will be decently set up for reaction fire, so we can move these guys into better cover for the moment. Out. We'll get the blast launchers set up in a good open position. These guys I can put out as like bodyguards, because, you know, I have enough people. I can just get a couple to look around the rest of the map, even though those blast launchers aren't in immediate danger, it would seem. Oh yeah, what? This may not have been what I was going to talk about, but it is something I wanted to talk about. I'm doing it, so... Working reaction fire, missed. Don't you love teamwork? Oh, it looks like they just tanked that shot. Very nice. Now it's time to die. There we go. Anyway, you could say as a kind of personal improvement thing, I'm learning music composition, and, you know, part of that I'm making just some small pieces to test my ability. I think maybe soon, but more so planning after this series is done. Well, I don't really know. I'll only upload them for one thing once I've finished them all, because, you know, I've got a plan for what to do. You know, after saying I've got a plan, don't worry, Arthur, I've got a plan. Now, I think I said that when I was talking about this some previous time, so yeah. But anyway, I'll upload them here as videos. Just if anyone should happen to be interested. And in fact, I'm planning on making a video about all the music, summarising, you know, what I learnt, so that I can more easily refer to it in the future, and I may upload that here as well. So yeah, keep an eye out, because yeah, you don't know, I think you can't trust YouTube's subscription feed and all that to be entirely reliable these days. And I find my home feed has gotten worse than it used to be. But, yeah. Such is life. Shall keep them up. Just watch out for the moment. Oh, nice. I just realised something. I think this tank has infinite ammo. It's cool. Alright. No one here for the moment, but I will move that guy back for safety. These guys can't move too far while still maintaining, you know, somewhat decent reaction fire chance. Very nice. Now I do actually wonder if you can only have one commander. I genuinely don't think I've seen any other commanders. So maybe one I have is already blocking. One I already have is blocking more from spawning in, essentially. And promoting. Not that great for time limits. I think I'll go attack that base after this, because hopefully they'll have some Elerium. And you know, if not that, I should get a decent number of promotions, at least. Such that I could have this ship maybe entirely full captains, rather than any tanks. Only thing is I don't have Elerium to build more armour for the moment, so yeah. Though again, if the base had like a room with fuel cells, perhaps I could get some. Ooh. Oh right, yeah, they'll all be intact because I let them land. Ain't that great? For, yeah, somewhat watching each angle. And I'll leave the rest outside for now. I'll keep them on the bottom floor once the others move up, so I can, you know, watch if anyone manages to sneak behind, as they've annoyingly done before. Yeah, I know there's all these random things that I talk about, but I talk about them because I figure they might be interesting for some people. It's a good reaction fire. Anyway, yeah, I don't know if I've talked about this previously or not. I'm not sure. I'm making an Ed style. Well, actually, you can just say I'm making Ed for the IBM 1401 using what's called the console inquiry station. But yeah, it's like a stripped down version of Ed, because for one thing you can't print and receive input on like the same text line. You can't essentially the computer doesn't have any control over what input it receives, so it could be kind of dangerous. And I'm having fixed length 80 column lines that, you know, essentially get space padded, because then that's easier to deal with in memory and on tape. See, the IBM 1401, it's a very dynamic computer. Like, the instructions can work on very much variable sizes of data, but in the way it works actually turns out that to put it to good use you kind of need to work with fixed known data things, because, you know, any kind of thing with dynamic addresses or pointers is an absolute nightmare to do on the IBM 1401 compared to other computers. It's possible with like some specialised instructions and all that, and enough memory to use them, but compared to something like the Motorola 68000, it's a million times better with pointers. But yeah, still, having fixed length 80 column things, because it's bad at having control over dynamic length things, because you don't have anything to deal with pointers well. But yeah, also an annoying thing, although the IBM 1401 does have a hard disk, and it has, you know, it's a hard disk, it works like hard disks work, it has sectors and all that. I'm not using that because it was quite rare. I'm using just tape drives as the storage, and also the memory for large files, because I'm going to have it working with a kind of swap page system, because the computer has 16 kilobytes of memory, well, bytes, 16,000 kilo words, and probably most of that will be taken up by the program, so, you know, I might be able to keep a few lines kind of in memory, but it will need to be able to dynamically swap them out to storage to be at all useful. So I'm gonna have tape to do that with. Well, it will be able to save files permanently on tape in a, you could say, collated way, but also it will have on the tapes whenever it swaps a page out, you could say, swaps a line to tape, it will just write it onto the end of the tape, like it won't backspace or anything, because rewriting tapes isn't really possible with the 1401 architecture and all that, and with how the tape drives are built. Oh, they took a lot. And they took a while to shoot. Dude, did you see that? I took about 5 shots and then died on the 6th. Amazing. Anyway, it's not practical to rewind drives, so what I'm just going to do is, it's gonna, like, whenever it has a page, even if that page is already on tape, it's just gonna write that page to the end of the tape again. And when it needs to read a page back into memory, like, you know, someone's edited that line, it will just backspace from the front of the tape, and it will go read what that line was, and then it will go. Well, on that tape, it will stay where it was for the moment, but, you know, if it needs to write a new line, it will then seek to the front of the tape. That's what I'm thinking. And yeah, when it needs to save a file, it will then, you know, it will have a count of how many lines it has, and if it has lines in memory, it will just write those lines to memory. If it doesn't, then it will go looking through the tape for the most recent version of that line, and then write it to the collated tape, such that on the saved file tape, you'll just have the name of the file, and like the file metadata, you could say, will be in the tape, and then after that, it'll just be records with, you know, 80 lines, just in plain format. But yeah, the editing stuff will be all the same as ed. So, you know, you can just type stuff in and it will work. Although it'll probably be quite slow reading and writing to tape. I think the actual processing of things should be quick, because, you know, ed really doesn't do that much. It's just kind of copying the data you enter directly. Yeah. Once I get that done, I plan to upload it here, and I'll probably also upload the program, or the assembled thing, if anyone who has the VDC simulator that I use and is interested in running it. See, part of the reason I'm also making it work on tape drive is, you know, because of the commonality of the tape drive, and there are, I think, some working IBM 1401s in the world. I don't know if they have the inquiry stations or not, but they certainly do have tape. And, you know, an inquiry station could probably be, or a teletype of some type could be got and made to work, and they could use the line editor thing without having to, you know, get a hard disk, which would be basically impossible to build if you don't have a functional one. But yeah, that is all. Did that say 10 or 11? Or am I just blind? I don't know. Oop. Down. Yeah, that was 11. Been slower than I thought. Now, I had a decent amount of fun doing, you know, what the kids of today would call rage baiting. A bigot on TF2, which I thought was quite funny. Basically, half of everyone in the server was joining in as well. It was quite humorous, and they were talking about very. I don't know. Well, why they have their opinions is that they've seemed to met some very, I would say, queer people who anyone, even other queer people would agree are very much rude and unlikable to be around if they were accurately recounting the things that they'd done. But yeah, that was seemingly why they disliked that sort of people. But yeah, they were just saying the most foul things, which I will not repeat, but it was fun to poke them, you could say. Because people like that are very easily provoked, like, amazingly so. You can say the most benign thing and they'll take it as a personal grievance. Perfect. Now they've got no cover, but yeah. It's only a captain. Yeah. I'm not still not trying to throw their lives away, but yeah. At this point, though, mostly because of the suits, because yeah, I've running very low on the Elerium. As someone commented that's because of the Avengers taking Elerium as fuel, but hopefully this will give me a decent amount. Wonder if that's the last guy then. Seem not. Perfect. There's no motion, at least. Don't know if that means there's no aliens. Maybe there's some over there. In this car to look. Seems not. Move these guys over to have a look. Oh, they can't see anything. guessing there must just be a stationary alien in there or something. Oh no. Question then goes, where are they? Because I'm pretty sure I've covered all of my... Like, you know, watch my back the entire time in here, so... Perhaps they're outside. Or they were somehow hiding in the fuel room. No. Yeah, so they're definitely inside the UFO. See if this guy can see him. Nope. Yep, there they are. So, back 3, left 2. Must be there if they're on board. Or they're outside. Get these guys to start watching the exits then. Guessing they were hiding over in like the black spot behind the hills and just walked to the UFO when I wasn't looking. Is that reaction far from my guy? It's good. Seems it can't hit them, even though the game thinks it can. I'll just launch a blaster bomb over there. The quickest way to dispatch them, without any risk, I hope. There we go. 150 Elerium, that's quite good. Lots of alloys. None of which I need, but well, a bit. Have a great overabundance. Same with that plasma gear. You know, I made plasma ammo using Elerium earlier. How silly that seems now. No promotions. Anyway, start on manufacturing some suits. I think this will take quite a bit of Elerium, but I need them. Must not take the Elerium until after they're done manufacturing. Oh, great. One hour. How fast are they going? Not too far. They're gonna kill the base. Or not. What kind of, ooh, floaters. That would be a decent mission, I think. How many soldiers do I have on board? So that's 16, I think. Oh, yeah, that's fine, I think. I'm confused. Right, hold on. Disarm this guy for a moment. I'll just load a bunch of these on. Need to buy some more actually by the looks of it. Do that before I forget. Some stun rods as well. Got my completely equipped team. That's a farm. Suboptimal, but I think better than losing radar coverage. Ooh. That guy has good reactions. Not good armor though. Oh, it's that guy. Guys are getting some good experience in for the mission to Cydonia. Against non-ethereals. Because I've never actually fought them, but I think I dread the day that I will. Though for one thing, I plan on that being the first time in the game that I'll be fighting on. Will be on the final base, because I'll just shot down their craft in the sea for the most part, and they rarely send them. Oh, that's a leg. I was thinking, what, did they just send a medium scout? You know, that's actually an interesting thing. One leg, one stilt that the battleship sits on is the same level as their medium scout UFOs, not even the small ones. It's inspective how large these battleships actually are. Just like the difference between a dinghy and an actual battleship. And then the height of a 4-story building. Wait, no, 3-story. What would that be? Like 2 of their fuel cells are intact, at least. Though of course they may not be intact. Because, you know, it could just be that it didn't destroy the hull. Seen that before, I think. Some people in the position somewhat reaction fast, so I'll just start unloading everyone. So it's very good to have lots of people on the battleship. On deck. We'll keep 2 guys just to look around the farm buildings. And these guys can get a vantage point. Same with my hover tanks, they can look around the farm. Can't go in the building, but they can hover up to the windows and shoot through decently effectively. That was some movement. No, they're gone. No, they're not. Nice. Oh, so these maps are like bigger. Ones with the Battleship. Because I know there's the other maps are like 4x4. This is 5x5. It's interesting. I'll get Emma to be on the roof. They can be doing with the motion scanner. Two detonated. Hope the others are intact inside. Excuse me. think that's centered. More people to be able to tell easier. Yep, that's centered. That would be one of the dinosaur things. Where are they? They could be on the upper floor. Be convenient if there are. Because that means they can't get to the thingies, the elevator. They won't be a threat until I exit the elevator up there. Oh wait. I think that was the dinosaur thing I was looking at. I'm so great at this game. No, I'm just not that great at using the motion scanner. I'm somewhat decent at the rest of it, I think. It's not exactly a complex game. It's not overly complex. Otherwise, I think it's possible to get good enough to win campaigns consistently without too much effort. If it was multiplayer, well, you know, there'd be a far higher skill ceiling, perhaps. But as it is now, no. Perhaps a bit dangerous having them all in this one spot, but like, I think the odds are in my favour. If any alien wants to have a blast launcher, they'd be on the upper floor, for one thing. Because I think that's where I've encountered them before. think the outside is free of aliens. There's him. He just ran away again. Good. And damn, that's detonated. Say drat, forward again. Wonderful. Yeah, the last one will be dead because all this roof is damaged. Yep. That's unfortunate. No Elerium. Where was that carved? To the right? Yeah. That would be 8, -8. They could be in there. They'd be there if they were. Keep people waiting just in case. just tapped it. That's lucky. And that just punched a hole straight in the floor. That's a blast launcher. Blast launch gun. That guy's just got a rifle. That was a very successful mission. Except it didn't get any Elerium. Still, that went quite well. Have more alloy to sell to add to just the infinite pile of money. Now, it'd be good to be able to get Elerium out of the alloy. Probably be like, you know, expensive or so. But, yeah. Be a good thing for the late game, I think. Of course, they're not making any balance changes, though. It would have been good to be a promotion, but one. I don't know, do this before I forget. See if I have any new recruits that can fit better. That captain's already here. Let's see if I can transfer any over. I think the problem was that I didn't have any living space. Yeah, one. Anyway, I think that's enough for this episode, and next episode we'll be going after them, so I'll see you next time.